post-gym, week 3 of entrepreneur maxing, starting over maxing and trying to prove to myself and everyone else that if you have a reasonable set of skills, you can give up everything, start over, return stronger in less time. So with that being said, let's talk about progress in 3 weeks. So still sleeping, living in a 1999 Nissan Altima, absolutely crushing it. It actually sleeps better than you'd think. Now, ideally, it's not perfect in July in Tennessee when the internal temperature of the car gets to like 110, but I could use some heat shock protein and sauna time, so that is what we're doing. What I do have, though, is a bunch of sales and distribution results. No actual sales yet due to the length of the sales cycle, or potentially my inability to close, not sure which. But what I do have is I've got, I think, 2 bids in for projects that are 3,000, 2 bids in for projects that are right around 5,000, and then 1 bid, which I'm actually the most confident in that we're going to win, coming in between 7,500 and 10,000 for projects. So we are certainly working on building up the project pipeline. Nothing has closed yet. We are also getting a small ticket offer put together for realtors. It's just a little education package in school that's going to be $24 a month, and is going to give a reasonable amount of value as it relates to education, tools, tips, tricks, all that good stuff for real estate pros using AI. So all in on the real estate side right now. With some of those bids, we actually do have some personal tutoring clients. We have a full engineering build. That's the 75 to 10. And then we do have a social media agent, and I think the other one was an admin agent. It might be 2 social media agents. But that is kind of what we're looking at right now. Really focusing on dialing in the offer. Do have Meta ads live. We have, I want to say, based on the research from Claude, we've got about 150 active and verified leads with real email addresses. We have about 3,000 total leads, but a lot of those are going to be garbage that are, fake emails or whatever the case is. So we're sorting through those to ensure that we have as high quality lead database as we possibly can. And I think that is really, really it right now. Product development is still, educational classes weekly. We've got, like I said, we've moved into some implementation stuff where we have Claude or OpenAI, whichever one you want, even Grok or Gemini, performing social media agents, utilizing Claude skills and some different things that we've installed there. And then, so those are the implementations, and they come with education packages as well. So we are basically right now offering education that comes with implementation and tools. So it is a different education offer than what's out there. Most people do the education, expect you to then build the stuff yourself or come back to them to buy more stuff. That is not my goal. My goal is to give people the ability to do their stuff on their own. So every class that I teach is not designed to sell something else. The classes that I teach are designed to teach one thing. You end up with a tool that does that one thing, and then if you want to buy something else, I have classes that do other one things. So it's never a situation where I'm trying to upsell, which was one of my big concerns getting into the education space, is just everything's an upsell. Everything is just a gateway to buy another thing. And I didn't like that as it related to the culture. Also, 9 times out of 10, the education doesn't even get opened or used or anything like that, right? So I forget what the actual rate is on that, but it's not good. The actual, like, you buy something and then don't even open it is like 40%. It's like crazy. So my goal is to change that by removing as much friction as possible. That way, if you don't even want to open the education, you don't have to. We are doing that for brokers and brokerages, as well as individual agents. The brokerage offer is really cool because it's basically $5,000 and you get a social media agent, as an example, for the entire office. We teach how to set up the context, so it's unique to each individual real estate agent, and the brokerage context stays the same, so you don't have to worry about any kind of drift as it relates to how people are representing the brokerage brand and the brokerage kind of principles. So that's a big one. We've got basically the same thing on the family side. I've used AI to streamline a lot of family processes, build homeschool stuff and do all that kind of stuff. And so I've had a couple people reach out to me about that. And so we're doing a monthly implementation package there that teaches people basically how to turn whatever AI they want into their personal, basically chief of staff for their home. So there's that. Context cards, we are selling those. We do give those away a fair amount at the classes that I teach. So if you come to a continuing education class, or one of your brokerages buys a class, you do end up with the context cards. We are selling those, I think, for $279, and that makes all the asset building super duper easy for agents. So it's kind of build once and then build all the stuff out of that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we're doing right now. Oh, the other thing, last thing, is Operation Touchgrass is finally live. And so I've been doing beta testing kind of on an individual basis, as well as with a couple small groups, and it's gone really well. So what I'm going to do is we are going to open it up to probably under 10 people, and it's going to be $500. And basically it's come to a scenic part of Nashville or Franklin or Hendersonville or wherever the initial setup is. I think we're planning Nashville for the first one, and then I think we're actually going to do Radnor Lake as the first official kickoff. And so that is going to be basically where we get on a trail, we take out our phones, we open AI, and then we use that to solve various business problems or things that you're stuck on. One of the cool things about that is there is good neuroscience data that shows how effective changing environments can be. And so we're going to utilize that, and we're also going to utilize AI on the phone, which is something that a lot of people who are not developers are not optimized for. And so we are going to make that a priority because I think that is where this is headed, is not being locked into a computer, locked into a desk. And then eventually we will probably be looking at some type of hardware model for that as well, where we will build an agent and then tie a phone into it, or your phone into it, and then kind of have that as an asset. So that is where we stand. That is the full week 3 update. Fingers crossed we can actually close a deal this week. That is the top priority, because the second we close a deal, I do not have to live in a 99 Altima. Very excited about that. As much as I love my grandma and her car, I would be super stoked not to wake up in a pool of my own sweat. So that is what we are striving for this week.